All right, so we're back. Core values day 3. Today we're talking about
a pile of logs.
a pile of logs. I would put up the camera, but it took me like 2 minutes to fix this. But today we're going to talk about nurture, which is the third core value in VINCI CORE, and I'll read it here. It's grow individually, empower the team, and strengthen the community. I think I will save a lot of that for a later date where I'll go more in depth about it, but we're actually having a conversation that kind of tied back to the core value, and I just wanted to start recording. So we're going back to talking about this. So
We're talking about thumbnails and the authenticity of it or not.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is, if you notice both our channel thumbnails, obviously, like the first couple of videos aside, we've been trying to do a little bit more with it, and it's actually been kind of fun. I've enjoyed it. However, I don't want to have a misalignment between what the person expects and then the actual product. So, like, for example, if you're marketing and your service costs $30,000 and you paint people's walls and it costs $30,000 because you're the best painter on earth, and your advertising says discount painting. Your painting it says painting, but it's discount painting, so it's not quite the same thing. Like, if we have these fancy ass thumbnails and then it's just us sitting in a chair, there might be a misalignment between the thumbnail and then the video. However, Ali has a counterpoint, which I'm open to hearing, because I also think, the thumbnails are just fun, and so there's something to be said about that.
Two things. I'll go on that, but also what you were saying about the misalignment and expectation and what you can deliver. That reminded me of wholesaling. Imagine if you're in wholesaling and you're making ads about saying, like, we buy properties, and the properties in the images of your ad are like beautiful $1 million homes, or they're very good condition. That will kind of turn off the person you want to attract. So you want to attract someone with a distressed home or in a distressed situation. So your ads should reflect that, and they should show, okay, like we'll buy houses that even look like this, you know, like a shed or something like that.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, okay, like if they buy something like that, they'll actually buy my house, and it's not like, oh, I'm gonna waste my time filling out this form because they won't even think about my house. That was kind of like a idea that popped up. But with the YouTube, I kind of think there's a couple ways to look at it. One is, I think you're right with it might seem more authentic just to have a.
I don't like, we can put text or like a little image, but I just need like the full, like, what we.
Yeah, but what I was thinking is, the way I see what we're doing with YouTube right now, I don't see us as like YouTubers.
No,
like,
do I. It's more so to make us like better at what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's a good way for us to document, us fun to look back on, more importantly, remind ourselves what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. And we're not here to get views or to get subscribers.
Subscribe though if you're watching.
Yeah, subscribe to this channel, and also Jack Savagery. Jack Savagery.
Yeah, stands for retard.
No, stands for real estate. But what I was saying is, the point of YouTube for us is the growth aspect of it, not the fame, I guess you could call it, or like personal branding. Right now, it is, the long term is to build somewhat of a personal brand and have our names correlate to what we do and like push that forward. But I think right now, at least for me, we can like talk it out, see what your reasoning of starting these videos are. I think it's similar, but there might be some discrepancies, which will help both of us like kind of expand our reasoning behind it.
Go ahead.
I think for me, it's a way to force myself to do videos and kind of practice communicating my thoughts and articulating my thoughts in a way that can be understood by others, because I think the way I think is like super cluttered, and like it's not in an organized, I guess, storyline where I wouldn't say a lot of people, but
I think that's true for most people. It's just some people are really good at articulating.
But like skilled people are able to share their vision with the world.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them great. Like, there's, I think we talked about this a few days ago. Like, there's hundreds, thousands, if not millions of people who've had world-changing ideas and like ideas or even like business startups that had the potential to change the world, but because they couldn't share their vision, they either didn't get the funding, they didn't get the eyes on it that it deserved, or they didn't like it wasn't expanded to its potential. And like if you look at the bottleneck in that scenario, it's because they couldn't communicate their vision and communicate their ideas. And I don't think I'm great at communicating my ideas, and I find it hard to really explain what I'm thinking in words, and even in like we've had a lot of discussions of like future vision, and I think we've both gotten better at understanding and communicating with each other like what we're looking to do.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a lot more to go, and I mean we talk to each other every day about it.
Yeah.
So it's like if we don't understand.
Yeah, right. There's no way.
Yeah, exactly. So I think again, one of the reasons for starting this is to get better at communicating and articulating my vision and my thoughts. Another thing I would say is, I guess that small part of it is like the discipline of it, and to see like the growth.
Yeah, that's a big part for me.
Yeah, you want to expand on that?
Sure. So one is like the consistency of something. It's a good anchor that is sort of fun because there's no expectation of trying to get better at it. Every other metric in the business, I'm trying to get better at and trying to actively improve, which is why I'm kind of pushing back on myself on what I said about the thumbnail, because that is just what I'm saying about the thumbnail about maybe we need to have less thumbnail or less of an extravagant thumbnail rather. I'm saying that from a perspective of strategy, not from a perspective of we should just do this because we're doing this for, like you said, to practice communicating, or for me, to practice consistency and communication. And so I was trying to strategize it, but if that's not even the goal, then maybe it's completely unnecessary, and we should do it because it's fun and enjoyable.
Two things. I agree with you with the fun and enjoyable and being authentic to who we are and just doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking about it with the strategy. I think that is important because we don't want to waste our time growing in the wrong direction.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right wording to use, but like if the end goal way down the line is to have a personal brand, I guess right now what we do doesn't really matter because it's like super early phases.
Yeah.
But it might set us up for wrong or unsuccessful habits of posting.
Looking for Mosey's brand, he's pretty authentic feeling. He has good thumbnails.
Yeah. But I'm saying like if you're thinking about it strategy wise.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. I get what you're saying.
So if we're doing the wrong practices,
I'm second guessing my strategy comment.
Okay.
Not needing a thumbnail.
So what's the strategy then? Like what strategy are you thinking of? Why we would want or why we wouldn't want?
Both. I don't know. I'm torn.
But like what's the reasoning behind each?
Okay. Well, why we would want is if strategy isn't in the forefront of the purpose of what we're doing, it doesn't make sense to cut something off that's enjoyable and that we can see like an evolution over time, because it's also like a tangible thing that you can see over time. The thumbnails get better.
Okay.
But if a channel has 3 subscribers, literally.
He's got 3. I got one.
Oh yeah.
And that one's
yeah, and one of them is my other account. So I have one actual subscriber. He's probably like some packy bot, but anyways, I digress. The authenticity of just having what I was saying before about the misalignment of the packaging and the actual product. The packaging being the thumbnail and the product being the video and the topics that we're discussing. If it's all super clickbaity and super bright colors like Mr. Beast's thumbnail, it's fun because technically, like by YouTube's current standards, that is a better thumbnail to generate clicks. But if you're getting high bounce, like it could not even be the correct strategic move, because you're going to get a lot of like bounces, short watch time, and so they're going to know that your thumbnails aren't aligning with the video.
Because of what we explained earlier with the misalignment of expectations and delivery.
Exactly. And so if you're thinking of like a small brand, you think of someone who is there to just tell their story and provide value, which is what we're trying to do, not to try to get you to click on the video.
That was the third reasoning behind YouTube on my end, is the documenting our journey and giving our future self something to look back at. I was actually thinking about this what was it, yesterday or today,
Uh-huh.
about imagine if we started recording last year.
Gosh.
Like,
We said that we should.
yeah,
We talked about it,
but
but then we never did it.
we never did it. And it's a good life lesson. You can never go back in time and change what you didn't do, but you can always decide to start today.
What's that quote? Best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today.
Yeah, that might be the title. Nah,
Yeah.
I can't do that. Actually, nurture. That goes with the.
It does.
That'll set expectations, I guess. And we're sitting on some trees.
Actually, yeah.
I like that.
Perfect.
All right, that's the title and the thumbnail. So we got that.
Got a lot.
Yeah, but continue on what you're.
Where was I? I think I said all I had to say.
Okay, so then what do you think? Would you want to continue doing your thumbnails, or do you think you're gonna?
I don't know.
I think for me,
I like enjoy it. It's kind of fun.
exactly, like for me, it's like I get to express my creativity.
Yeah.
I get to kind of this is a good point on my end, because I haven't done much like planning on like videos. Like sometimes I like think of like a podcast, like, oh, I just learned this,
Yeah.
and I'll like put it in like as an idea.
Yeah.
But like I haven't actually like structured any single one of these. It's like, what do I want to talk about? Okay, I want to talk about this. Is there like a couple ideas I can think of that relate to it, and I'll
Yep.
put them in. But it's not like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then this and like structure it out. So I think on the flip side of it, so like I guess you can count that as like a warm up to the video. On the flip side of it, when I'm doing the thumbnail, I'm thinking about what title I'm gonna do and what the thumbnail it needs to look like. So I'm actually like reviewing the video itself. So like I'll watch back the video and cringe a lot of it, but also reflect on what I talked about, because I guess a lot of times when I'm talking, I'm not thinking about exactly. Like I am thinking, but I'm not.
Yeah. I
Think
understand
you're
what you're saying. You're giving them monologue. It's like when you give a speech. You kind of have to look back on it. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what it's
Or like when you're reading, like you're not always paying attention when you read.
Oh, yeah, you have to like reread the
Yeah.
page.
So I don't know.
Gosh,
Try
I hate
this. Actually, I guess when you try it, it's a lot
You
easier.
can't try it.
But if you read a page and then stop at that page and then close your eyes and think about exactly what you just read, so many times like you realize, or I realized, that I wasn't 100% focused on what I was reading, and I was just reading the words. I was understanding the meaning behind them.
Yeah.
Long tangent to basically say that I think I'm enjoying the thumbnails enough to, whether or not they're good for, I guess you can like the algorithm or just even in general, I think they bring a sort of authenticity to the videos, where it's like, I don't think it shows that we're
I also think your thumbnails have been less clickbaity than mine. Like yours are just like good representations of video versus mine are like, don't be a bitch. Or like, stop
But
being
like,
a pussy.
but when you talk about it, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. It's not like actual like garbage clickbait. Like, oh, I jumped off the Eiffel Tower. Like it's true. It's true what I'm putting.
Yeah. So like, I disagree. I think you mean it's a different style.
Yeah, it's a
Which
different.
is fine.
Yeah, it's a different style. I'm doing mine more so for the psychology of it rather than for the art of it.
Okay. Are you
Except
enjoying
for
it?
Yeah, I am.
Would you enjoy it more if you did it for the art of it versus the psychology of it, or do you like doing it for the psychology?
I kind of like doing the psychology.
All right.
Yeah.
Then I think you stick to it.
Yeah.
Because then,
Sure.
think about it. Not right now. Well, actually, maybe right now, because the first video did really well. But and really, really well in our terms is 80 views.
And that was the only one without a thumbnail. Mine.
Really?
Yeah.
But like, 1 month, 2 months down the line, doing it every day and like doing it strategically, you'll be looking back and like, okay, this is what worked, this is what didn't work.
Yeah.
So that itself is growing yourself to the next stage where it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay, in 2 years, hopefully we'll still be doing this every day, which I think we will be and we should
Yeah.
be.
I think so.
You'll look back and you'll know, like you'll become so much, like you'll literally be an expert in thumbnail psychology.
Yeah.
Because you'll see what works and what doesn't. Maybe longer than 2 years, but whatever. Just the fact of doing it every day, and then once.
I guess that's a good point. If it's a skill that I can develop and I like doing it, why not do it? Even if it makes like a minor brand misalignment at the beginning, who cares? Because
There's
it's
no brand.
enjoyable. First of all, there's no brand, and we don't need the brand right now. And it's enjoyable, and I'm developing a skill. It's like a win-win-win.
And the brand is you. Like the
That's
brand grows with you.
True.
The brand grows with me.
Yeah. That's a good
Like,
point.
if it's even in a business, the same thing, but even more so because it's personal brands. Like us recording this video right now, are going to be completely different than us watching the video in, I don't know, what year do you think we're going to be watching back on these videos? 2030?
Nah,
Before that. Before that. Probably next year.
Yeah, probably.
We're going to be like,
for sure in like 3 years.
Yeah. But like, those are going to be completely different people with completely different brand identities. Still moving, maybe not the exact same direction, but like, we have a horizon that we're walking towards, and it might not be the single point that we know we're going to get to, but it's going to be somewhere in that horizon. And I'm literally looking at a horizon right now, so.
Questionable.
They can't see if that's the thing.
That was a questionable statement. We were looking at one earlier.
Yeah, I can see the grass though. There's like
the
a
lake
grass and
the
like
lake is
kind
like
of a forest.
100 feet that way. So.
Yeah, that's the lake. That's east. How long is this video, by the way? Let's talk a little bit about nurture, like specifically the core value. I think just so it's not entirely clickbait. 16 minutes. All right, we'll try to keep this like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But in terms of nurture, I don't know. This is also bad. I don't know the exact wording. We should know it just in the core values. But basically, it's growth personally. So through YouTube, we're individually growing skills and building ourselves. Also through our positions in wholesaling, acquisitions, dispositions. We're both learning to get better on the phone, learning to get better communicating with people. I think communication is one of the biggest skill sets we're growing in right now.
Right. That and like being consistent and doing shit that's just painful and you don't get immediate feedback.
Mm-hmm.
If we get those two, like it's unlocked.
Yeah.
If you can do those two things, guaranteed to be successful.
If you can put your head down and do the hard work and communicate with people.
Yeah. And suck it up when the hard work doesn't give you some sort of fun like feedback loop. You're golden. You don't have to be a genius. It's pretty like when I was like 16, 15, 16, I am more like 16, 17. I started like thinking not like a child, and so I was thinking that like, oh, I had all these things figured out, and because those were all like the what's and the hows, but that's not the hard part. It's the consistency of doing things. Life isn't about knowing what you should do. Everyone really knows what they should do for the most part, unless you're like a bottom 20% of idiots. Maybe more people are stupid than I'm assuming.
Here's a quote.
But
here's a quote.
I think of those who know what they need to do, the what is not the issue.
There's two major points in your life that exclude birth and death. What the hell?
Nice.
Balloons?
Yeah.
All right. Two major points in your life.
I know where this is going.
The day you realize what your purpose is, and the day you fulfill that purpose.
Oh no, that's not where I thought.
So I don't think everybody is born knowing what they need to do. I honestly want to say nobody is born knowing what they need to do. Maybe a few exceptional like geniuses, where they're like, oh, I'm ridiculously genius in this aspect.
But even then, like.
But like, yeah, exactly. Anyways,
Tesla was gambling in college and dropped out.
Yeah, exactly.
Einstein was a bad kid. Like, that's.
Steve Jobs didn't know he was going to be Steve Jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Bill Gates
or
was a
maybe
class clown.
Exactly. But like, it takes time to understand where you fit. And I don't even think we know that now. I just think we know a direction of that.
I didn't mean so big picture. I meant more on like the steps.
I got you.
Like the necessary actions that you need to take
what step one
to become successful. People know for the most part. I don't mean we need to know steps A through Z of starting a $100 million business. Of course we don't know that. But I mean like wake up at a reasonable hour, make your bed, don't drink at night, like shit like that everybody knows are common sense for the most part. Unless you're like an idiot. That's what I said, excluding like the people with IQ below 100. But
I disagree. I still think there's a lot of people out there with a higher IQ. I mean, we know a lot of people that.
That's true, but we're also young. So actually, that's a good point. I don't know. Maybe it's more than intelligence then. It's something beyond that.
Maturity, I guess.
Yeah, whatever that is. Well, whatever maturity metric is. Then.
There's a certain type of maturity where you start realizing you're either gonna enjoy your early years and pay for it in your later years, or you're gonna put in the hard work in your earlier years and reap the benefits in your later years.
The road to hell looks like heaven.
And the road to
what is it like? The road like hell is like paved with gold and whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
it's very true. People are like, oh, it's freedom. It's freedom until you realize that you can't stop. Oh, I can do whatever I want. I go out drinking and having sex. All right, then stop doing it. You're not so free anymore, are you?
Oh, I can't say that story right now. crazy thought about that. All right. Anyways. Basically, I don't even know where we were going with that, but it's not important to know exactly who you're going to become, but it's important to take the steps to become that person, and to constantly reflect, take action, and then reflect on that action. Because if you do that, even if you regress on some days, the regression itself and the awareness of that regression is what's going to allow you to progress on other days.
That's nice. I like that.
That's tough, right?
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, that kind of just like came out. I didn't even think.
That's nice.
Honestly, let's end it at that note.
Yeah, that was good.
It's been a long video. So, if you enjoyed this video, give a like. If you didn't, drop a hate comment below. Check out Jack Savage's channel, Jack Savage RE or Jack Savagery. You can guess what the RE stands for, but we won't tell you today. Actually, that's gonna get cut out.